Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed yet, please don't forget to do so. It really means the world to me. So in a lot of my videos, I really like to focus on quality and timelessness of luxury designer items that we buy. And I usually show quite a few different items about the quality of which I am really quite happy. However, in this video, I pulled out a couple of items from my wardrobe which truly disappointed me. So a lot of these are luxury items. Some of them are more like contemporary designer items. And I really just wanted to be super honest about their quality and what has been happening with these items as I have been wearing them. And I hope that the information I'm going to share today is going to be helpful to you in case you're considering some of these purchases or in case some of these items are maybe on your wish lists. Again, I'm going to share my experience only, so maybe for somebody out there, you might have similar items or items from the same designer and you feel like they are actually of great quality. But for me, unfortunately, these items haven't worked out as well as I was hoping that they would. And as you might know, when I make a luxury designer purchase, I actually hope to be able to wear it literally for years, if not decades. And so when something actually disappoints me, I really take a note of that and I kind of take that into consideration when I make my wish list or when I think about my future designer purchases. Once again, I really don't want to make this just like a completely negative video, but what I want to do is just share with you my experience, show you some of the items that, as I have said, disappointed me, and perhaps this will help you in your purchasing decisions. So this is a mock neck short sleeve sweater from Jacquemus. It has a little bit of a detail on the sleeve. It's got the mock neck, and I actually featured this sweater a couple of times in my videos, as in I was actually wearing this sweater when filming the videos. I wear this sweater a lot in the fall and in the spring, and I have had it maybe for 2 or 3 years by now. And again, as I said, it is unfortunate that I actually have to include it in this list today. So when I look at the composition and the fabric composition of the sweater, let me check what it actually says. So it says this is viscose, so mostly viscose, and also polyester. As you might know, I don't necessarily buy viscose or polyester items because I always think that it is better to buy something from cotton, wool, or linen, basically natural fabrics. But as per usual, I did get this sweater on a really good discount, so I decided, all right, viscose is a mostly natural fabric, so I'm going to give this sweater a chance. And actually also on the tag of the sweater, you can see that there are 2 options for care. You can either hand wash this sweater or take it to dry cleaning. And the first time that I washed this sweater, I actually decided to hand wash it. I really wish that I didn't do it. But again, because the label gave me a couple of different options, I decided to go ahead and just wash the sweater, because also just feeling the sweater, I kind of felt that this fabric was a little bit, I don't know, simple to actually take it to dry cleaners. So I washed the sweater and it actually lost so much color. So right now the sweater is still brown, and as I mentioned, I still wear it. But if I think about the color of this sweater as it was before I actually washed it, and the color that it is right now, I can definitely see that now it has a little bit of this faded and I don't know, like grayish finish. And I really do not like that because it makes me think as if this piece of clothing is actually incredibly old. And for me, I think that a contemporary designer or a designer piece of clothing shouldn't really feel old after only 2 or 3 years of wearing. So after the first time that I washed the sweater, actually all the other times I took it to dry cleaning. And I hope that this is going to help me kind of preserve this color as long as possible, because once again, I really want to be able to wear this sweater for a very long time. However, thus far, I'm just a little bit disappointed because I feel like this fabric and the color haven't really been holding up well. Or maybe I'm really rather disappointed at the fact that the color hasn't been holding up as well as I think it should hold up when it comes to, the prices and just kind of the standing of Jacquemus as a label. And by the way, what tends to happen to me is once I notice something like this in one of the garments that I buy, I actually stop buying similar items from the same designer. So I see quite a few different knits from Jacquemus, sometimes on sale, sometimes just for sale on different luxury websites. And I'm just kind of really put off from buying them or trying them again, because I feel like I'm going to face the same issue with pretty much everything that I buy from Jacquemus when it comes to knits. And so I really do not want to gamble, let's say, with my money, and I would rather spend my money on items that I feel are going to have the quality. So yes, when it comes to the knits from Jacquemus, I have been a little bit disappointed, and largely this is just the consideration of the color and how the item has been holding up with washing and dry cleaning. I really wish that the color was just a little bit more stable or a little bit more resilient, and I really wish that this sweater just didn't lose so much color just after one wash. And before I stop talking about the Jacquemus, I actually wanted to show you this cropped shirt from Jacquemus. I believe it is a combination of linen and cotton, but for some reason I actually could not find the tag. But I will go ahead and link this shirt below, because when it comes to this material, I have actually been really quite satisfied with the quality. So I have a set. I have this shirt and also a matching pair of trousers, very, very high-waisted trousers. And I basically wear this shirt or the set in the summer because this is such a breathable material and it feels really great on my skin in the summer, especially when it is super hot. And when it comes to this material, I haven't had any issues at all. It is actually soft but robust. I have been taking this shirt to dry cleaners and I haven't had any issues whatsoever. And I feel like this shirt has been holding up quite well. And I have worn it for, I would say, at least 2 summers by now. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to be very detailed when it comes to my purchases, when it comes to the items that I have, when it comes to their care. And based on how different items hold up, I make various conclusions about further purchases. So while I do not see myself really buying another knit from Jacquemus, I would actually be open to the opportunity or the possibility of buying something that is made out of cotton or out of linen from Jacquemus. And by the way, my name is Lisa and I'm your guide to savvy luxury shopping no matter where in the world you are. Subscribe to my channel to learn more about strategic luxury shopping with the emphasis on quality and timelessness of your items. So the second item I wanted to show you today is this pair of loafers from Saint Laurent. So I recently featured these loafers in a different video. I'm going to link it up here for you. And in that video, I was wondering whether these loafers were actually fake. Because when I bought them from gilt.com and when I opened the box with these loafers, they had this very kind of distinct plastic smell, a very strong and unpleasant smell. And for me, this is usually one of the greatest indications that the item you're looking at might be a fake. So I went ahead and I submitted a bunch of pictures of these loafers for authentication on an online authentication service. I'm going to actually put the website right here for you just in case you want to check them out. And I got a certificate back within 24 hours saying that these loafers are authentic. So to me, that just sounded well. You know, I guess that put my mind at ease. And let's say these loafers are authentic. But even if they are, what I'm really disappointed at is that the leather on these loafers is starting to pull apart at the seams right here when my foot is bending. And while I have been wearing them a lot, I really don't feel like I have been wearing them that much that it would really cause such a wear and tear sign. And this is happening actually on both loafers, and I would say even more so on the left loafer as opposed to the right loafer. And once again, I will continue wearing these loafers up until they actually fall apart. I even replaced the heel already once here in the back. But this type of look does make me feel a little bit disappointed just because, again, for the price point, and I'm going to put the price point if I find these loafers online, but I feel like for this price point, you know, these shoes should not be quote unquote falling apart so quickly. I really wanted to have more longevity from them. And I don't mind the creasing itself as much. What I really mind is that above the seams, it feels like the leather is actually pulling apart. It's kind of tearing a little bit. And I think this is really quite noticeable. And so it makes these loafers look cheaper than they actually are. The third item that I have for you today is actually a category of items, and that's shoes from Stella McCartney. So if you watched a couple of my videos, you probably know that I used to be vegan. And when I used to be vegan, which was, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago or so, I would only buy non-leather items. And I used to buy a lot of Stella McCartney, specifically her shoes and her handbags. And I talk about her handbags a lot on this channel, especially the Falabella tote bags, because generally speaking, I do like them, even though honestly, now I use them much less frequently than, back in the day when I was actually a vegan. And one of the Stella McCartney totes is actually one of the oldest designer items that I have. I featured it in another video, which I'm going to link up here for you. So I kind of don't have a beef with her handbags. I think, at least when it comes to the Falabella totes, they're really quite robust. I like the way they look, and they have been lasting for a long time. But as I mentioned, I still have quite a few different pairs of shoes from Stella McCartney. So I want to show you a couple of things that were really quite disappointing to me. And as you can tell, I still hold on to these shoes because on occasion I do like to have the option of wearing them. But I would never buy another pair of Stella McCartney shoes again. And about this, I'm completely serious, just because I feel they don't have the staying power. And I realized that perhaps it is much more difficult to make something that is quality out of a material that is not leather. But at the same time, when it comes to the price point of these shoes, I feel like it is possible to do better. So let me show you a pair of these sandals. And as you can see, this is faux leather right here. They've also got some embellishments. And then at the bottom, there is some kind of simulation of a cork. And my issue right here is that basically this cork material is coming apart, right? So it is separating itself from the rest of the shoe. I haven't glued these shoes just because I am a little bit cautious about what a glue of any sorts might do to this very thin cork material. But again, it just makes me feel really unpleasant that my shoes are falling apart right here. I feel like I haven't, once again, worn them that much. I haven't been wearing them every day for like a summer or something. I only wear them occasionally because I have kind of like a matching Falabella tote. But basically the shoes are coming apart and I would need to glue them in some way if I'm actually planning to wear them again. And it's not just this shoe, but the other shoe has the same exact problem. So it is the cork material is basically coming off, and it's happening pretty much everywhere on the edges of the sole right here. And again, I don't really know much about cork, but I feel like if this cork was thicker, if it wasn't actually such thin cork that is glued onto some other plastic material that is then attached to the sole, I feel like maybe if this top part of the sole was completely made out of cork, perhaps the shoes would actually have more longevity. I think the shoes are cute and I like this color and I think they look really nice in the summer, but I realized that basically I would need to do something about them before I'm going to wear them again. So this is really disappointing. And here's also another pair of sandals that I also wanted to show you. I think they're quite wearable because they're fun. There is this imitation snake skin, and then we've got also this gold detail right here, flat shoes, and I'm really a big fan of flat shoes just because I actually can walk in them. But once again, if we look at the sole, you can actually see that I took these shoes in and I basically had a completely different inside sole put in. Because the plastic that was there, which was basically this type of, white plastic, just started peeling. And so I was not able to wear them because whenever I would pull my foot out of these shoes, I would have all of these kind of chunks of white plastic just attached to my foot at the bottom. And it was just really messy and really unpleasant. And again, I feel like a pair of designer shoes, even from Stella McCartney, actually really should not do this. And in fact, I still have some of this white plastic on the inside of this part right here. And so even though I put a new sole into these shoes, this plastic right here is still coming apart. So I am not wearing these shoes that much just because it feels really pleasant and really messy, and I really don't like it. What I think I'm going to do before the summer sets in is I'm actually going to take something and just kind of rub off that plastic on the inside so none of it is actually left. And in that case, I think it would be better and I would actually be able to wear these shoes. But once again, as you can see, I'm super committed to actually making all of these items work. And part of it is I don't like the waste. I don't like to be wasteful. I really like to make sure that I get the most wear out of the items that I buy. Another part of it is that I did pay, a decent amount of money for these shoes. So I really do not want to trash them. But at the same time, I really think that designer shoes, even vegan designer shoes, just really shouldn't take that much effort and thought to maintain. I think they should wear well, and they definitely should not be falling apart. So yes, unfortunately, Stella McCartney shoes are on the list of the items that I never see myself purchasing again. And a big part of it is really quality. While I'll definitely respect the fact that Stella McCartney is trying to produce vegan shoes without the use of leather, I do not think that the quality should suffer, especially at that price point. All right, item number 4 on today's list are these boots from Paris, Texas. So I have been watching this brand for quite a while. A lot of their shoes and boots constantly go on sale, and I bought this pair of boots on sale as well. And they're, mock croc leather boots that are actually quite comfortable when it comes to wearing them just because of the heel. But I worn these boots only, I would say 2 or 3 times, not more than that. And I can already see how right here on the tip of the boot, the mock croc part of the leather is actually being scratched to the point that I can see the base of the leather, which is of a completely different color. Again, something like this I would expect to happen, but not after wearing a pair of shoes only 2 or 3 times. I would really expect them to hold out better than that. Another issue that I had with these boots is that I bought them on sale, as I mentioned, and they were basically the last item that was available. Then I think they were sold out, and then they reappeared again. So I thought, okay, well, now this is my chance to really buy this pair because I have been looking at them for a long time. And when the boots arrived, on the inside of this boot, yes, I can feel it. On the inside of this boot, there is actually a massive scratch. I think somebody tried these boots on. Maybe they didn't fit very well, and perhaps the person actually scratched the boot when they were trying to pull their leg out of the boot. I really do not know. But by the time I got these boots, by the time I looked at them, I really didn't have the time to return them anymore. In fact, I think they were the final sale. Maybe I was not able to return them. So I was like, okay, fine, I got a good deal on these boots. I'm gonna keep them. But this scratch still bothers me, even though this is not something that you would be able to see if I'm just wearing the boots. But I know that it is there, and it's just kind of diminishing the overall quality of the boots, at least in my opinion. I also don't think that, once again, a pair of boots from Paris, Texas should be scratched so easily. I obviously do not know what was done to them, but I don't imagine that it was anything, super drastic and invasive. But just like with many items that I mentioned earlier today, this has really put me off from buying any further shoes or boots from Paris, Texas in the future. I constantly see a lot of these items on sale, but in all honesty, after having this pair of boots, I do not think that Paris, Texas as a brand is a very good way to spend my money. And number 5 on the list today is this blazer from Valentino. And it actually really pains me to include this blazer into today's video because I paid a lot of money for it. Granted, I got it on sale, but I think it was still around 2,000 US dollars. And it was down probably from around 4,000 US dollars. So really a lot of money, if you ask me, for a piece of ready to wear. And I do have a couple of other items from Valentino as well. I think 2 sweaters and a skirt. And most of them have been wearing fine, as in I don't have any major concerns or major regrets. However, this blazer right here, which is in this beautiful green color, actually snags very easily. I'm going to include a couple of close-up shots from this blazer, but you will be able to see that where I have my seat belt on, because I drive a lot actually, so the place where I put the seat belt, the place where I wear my handbag, all of those places have a lot of tiny snags on this particular fabric. And so with time, this blazer just kind of looks more and more worn out. And again, I also don't remember when I actually bought it. I think it must have been around 4 years ago. But because I noticed that this blazer is developing snags so easily, I actually do not wear it as much. And I would like to be able to wear it more because I want to get my cost per wear down. However, I'm really concerned that if I start wearing this blazer more, it's not going to be very wearable very soon. I can actually see the snags very well right here on the lapel. So yes, I feel that if I start wearing this blazer more, then I'm basically gonna, I don't know, give it to charity at some point or something, because I'm just gonna feel like it has too many snags and it doesn't look good enough. But again, when it comes to the price point of this blazer, somewhere around 2,000 US dollars, and that's on sale, I really don't think that it should be snagging so easily. And what I don't like is that when I wear this blazer, I really try to be so careful with my handbag and where I place it, etc. And it just kind of takes the fun out of wearing things like this. All right, that's it from me today. So once again, I don't particularly like filming negative videos, but for this video, I just went through my closet, I looked at my wardrobe, and I picked the things that have really disappointed me over time, especially when it comes to their quality. I think when we are spending money on designer items, we should expect higher quality than something that we would buy from, I don't know, just regular brands like Zara or H&M. And I hope that you found my video helpful because I tried to be as detailed as possible. So if you're considering some of these items or if you're considering some of these designers, maybe what I said today really helps inform your decisions. Ultimately, I really want to make sure that all of us get as much value out of the items that we buy. And as I mentioned several times during this video, today's items have really disappointed me. So the items that I featured today, I'm not going to link in the description box down below, except for that one shirt from Jacquemus made out of linen and cotton, which I think, for me at least, was a good purchase. And before you go, watch this video next. In this video, I talk about some of the oldest items in my designer collection, and I really try to dissect and understand why those items lasted for such a long time. Some of them, I think, are older than 16 years by now. And by the way, the vest that I'm wearing right now is also one of the oldest items in my collection. Anyway, do check out this video next. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Take care and bye-bye.